Welcome to SmartEd Systems. This video snippet is how SmartScore minimized learning loss during the pandemic.
And coming out of the pandemic, it was really interesting. I think I read, it seems like almost all states, understandably, we had learning loss, right? We all had learning loss coming out of the pandemic. It turns out it does matter if kids go to school and if kids are in school. And who knew? And before the pandemic, at Ashland Middle School, about 70% of our kids, for example, were meeting or exceeding on ELA, Smarter Balanced Assessment, compared to 54% of the state. Coming out of the pandemic last year, we did have a decline. We dropped to 69%, so it wasn't too bad, but we did have a decline where 69% of our students were meeting or exceeding. But the state dropped from 54% to 44%. So we ended up widening our performance gap on the state, where we were outperforming the state by 16% before the pandemic, and now we're outperforming the state by 25% coming out of the pandemic. And we feel that this having these really clearly defined expectations, learning expectations for our kids, is the difference maker for us in recovering more quickly as we're emerging from the pandemic. So we're really, really excited about continuing this work and making sure that kids know what it is we expect from them, making it really easy for them to understand what a teacher wants them to do, and then giving them really good, quick, concrete feedback through scored rubrics and through SmartScore and the system there, so that students can know what they need to do to improve. So
there are a couple of things you said that really resonated and that I think are really important. One, I think in terms of the pandemic, not only were kids focused, but teachers, because they were in this practice of focusing on the performance and having objective ways to assess and really knowing what's important for their class, they had that going into the pandemic. So even I think your teachers were more focused as well. And there wasn't all this, we're all trying to do, especially I know in some schools, this kind of whiplash of, oh my gosh, how can I make sure that, I used to give homework every night, I used to do this, I used to do that. The other part I thought, what was really neat, you looked at the performance there, and I think a lot of that is because of, again, those rubrics, right? When we're leveling the playing field with kids that we typically think of as at-risk or underserved populations, when you pull out some of those things that in the past we would ding them for, right? Because typically a lot of those kids, they correlate with families that don't have the same support at home. Maybe parents are working 2 jobs, they don't have a quiet place to work, all those types of things. And when you remove that and report on it separately, then you can show these kids really are performing, and it's leveling the playing field. And I think you said that also changes their attitude, because these same kids who didn't think they were A students because they weren't A students in the way that we had chosen to define that grade, are looking at the rubrics going, well, yeah, but I can do this, and I can get mastery in this, and I get mastery in that. And it's changing even how they see themselves, it seems.
Thank you for watching. You can reach us at customercare@smartedsystems.com or visit our website at www.smartedsystems.org.